Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Cam Jennings coming at you on behalf of EpicConversions.com, and I wanted to make a video for you today talking about how much you could earn if you launch products on WarriorPlus. The good news is, and the whole thing about this is, people always wonder, is this a scam? Can I really make money on this platform? The good news about it is these are actually things that are pretty transparent. You can see fairly easily how much you could potentially make launching products on WarriorPlus. And I want to show you that today. I want to show you how to find that information. It's pretty straightforward. So if you want to know how to figure out how much you could potentially make launching on this platform, we can easily find that information out. All we have to do is, look at the top 10 right here. When we come to WarriorPlus, we see the top 10 revenue generating. This is revenue generating. Okay. When we look at this top 10 right here, it says top products on WarriorPlus for today. Then you got yesterday, 7 days, last 30 days. So if we just look at for today, understand these are the products that have made the most money on this platform today, okay, so far. Now, this is in real time, okay? I don't know how often they update this, but it's pretty regularly. It's probably like every 15 minutes or so. So as I record this, it's about 3:16 p.m. So, we're looking at like 15 hours worth of data, okay? So in the last 15 hours, these 10 products have earned the most money on this platform. If you wanted to launch a product on this platform, what does it look like at the top? This is the #1 revenue generating product of WarriorPlus. How do you figure it out? How much money has this thing earned altogether? Not just today, right? The way you do it is you just simply go ahead and copy that. Come over here to affiliate offers. Okay. And we'll type this into affiliate offers. Okay. We'll do a search for that. When we do a search for that, we'll find it. And we see that it has over 100 plus sales. Now, look, we see this up here has 1,000 plus sales. We see this has 250 plus sales. So these are averages, right? Once a product crosses a certain barrier, it'll change. And I think it goes from like 50 plus to 100 plus. Then I think it goes to 250 plus. Then I think it goes to 500 plus. Then I think it goes to 1,000 plus. So it goes up in like chunks. So obviously there's numbers in between there that it's not showing. The only person who has access to that specific data is the vendor themselves. But the public, anybody can see the chunk data, right? So anybody can see the average. Any kind of like speculation that we would do on how much money this product has made, it's going to be an average. Okay, it's not going to be specific, and it's going to be a conservative average. So obviously it has probably made a little bit more than what we are estimating. That being said, how do we figure it out? All right, so what we'll do is we'll use a calculator. Very simple. We'll take the 100 units that we see its average sales, 100. We see the average sale is 30.23. So for every sale, on average, this vendor has made $30.23. Now, don't get the wrong idea. They didn't get to keep all that. They had to pay their affiliates some of that money as well. We see right here that has a little contest. That means that there are affiliates promoting this thing. Those affiliates are earning money. So this vendor is going to be paying their affiliates some of that money, but that's okay. Now, we're not worried about that right now. We see on a conservative end, they've sold 100 with an average sale of 30.23. Okay, so the 100 times the 30.23 equals about $3,000, right? We see that the biggest product today, this is, keep in mind, this product is the highest earning product today. But we're looking at numbers of all time, not just for today. These numbers are for all time. They're not just for today. Just because this product happens to have made the most money today, that doesn't mean it's made the most money, period, out of all the products in the top 10. And just to demonstrate that, we're going to write this down. So if we say there's future AI equals, and we say it's earned about $3,023, okay, conservatively. It's probably earned a little more than that, but conservatively, that's what it's earned. Okay, now if we go back to our second product of the day, this is eKit Hub. All right, and we put that in our eKit Hub equals. We'll put it right there, and then we'll come over here to our little thing right here, and we'll do a search. Okay, and eKit Hub, we see it's 500 plus units sold at an average sale of $97.83. Okay, so we take the 500. Okay, remember these are conservative, so that we know that this vendor has earned a little bit more than this, but this is conservative estimates right here. So 500, times the 97.83, which is the average sale value. Okay, average. That means you take all the sales they've done and you give an average of what they earn per sale. It's $97.83. All right, so when we combine that, we see this product's earned about $48,915. So obviously that's a little bit more. That's a little bit more than the number one revenue generating product of the day. So just today's revenue generating numbers, that doesn't equal of all time, because the number two is actually it's made considerably more money than the number one for today. So just keep that in mind. Let's go to the number three. And I can do this for the top 10 for you guys. And you'll get the idea of what's going on. So with number three, we have 250 units sold at least. That's conservative, times the 2074. All right. And that's $5,185. Okay. And let's do the next one. All right. We got Sneak AI. Okay. Sneak AI. So Sneak AI is sold quite a bit. 1,000 units sold. That's pretty darn good with a 19% conversion rate. I say anything above 10% conversion rate, you're doing fine. You're doing just fine. And we're talking about warm traffic here. Okay, we're not talking about cold traffic. 10% conversion rate and above on warmer traffic. People from your list, people from referral traffic. That means affiliates who are promoting you. Generally, they're promoting you to their email list, and people who know who they are. All right, so we got 1,000 times the 2844, and we see $28,440. All right, that's four of them. And we'll do the top 10 here. We can do the top 10 pretty quickly. Okay. Hidden traffic formula. We got 500 units sold at least, times the 2562, and we got the 12,000, right? And the reason we're doing the top 10 is because these are the top 10 revenue generating products of the day. So this is kind of a snapshot into what the top 10 revenue generating products of the day are making. So you can see, within reason, what a typical day might look like on WarriorPlus for revenue generating products. Okay. You only get that with more data and by taking a snapshot of multiple things. You can't just see it from one angle. You can't just see it from one perspective. You got to be able to see kind of a bigger picture of what's going on. You got to be able to see it from multiple angles. What's the difference between the number one and the number 10, stuff like that. You want to be able to see what is happening. What's it look like? You can take it a step deeper and say, what's it look like outside the top 10? Because good chance when you first launch, you're not going to be in the top 10. And that's okay. But the point is, we're looking at the top of the top right now. This is what the top of the top looks like on any given day. All right. So we see 1,000 times 2407. Okay. And we see 2470. You might think, Cam, why are you wasting time putting that little dollar sign in there? Who cares about that little dollar sign? And you might be right. That might not really matter. Here's the number 7 revenue generating product of the day. Okay, and we're gonna go ahead and see. We got 25 units sold at least here, and we see the average sale is $15.98. So not a ton of money generated at number 7 today. $399.50. Very low compared to some of these other ones. Now this product was just launched today. We see it was launched 422 today. Very new product. We see a conversion rate of 12%, and we got 25 sales. What does that tell you? Okay. Not a ton of traffic has seen this thing yet. We got three more. Okay. We got the 50. We got the 50 right there. 50 sales at $24.29. All right. It's fine. Very cool. We are moving on. We got the inbox influencer here. What we got going on here? We got 50 at 1419. 709. 709.50. Okay, last one. So we got the 50 and we got the 3086. We got the 1543. Okay, so that's the 10, right? So let's go ahead and close this out. Okay, very cool. And now that we got our 10, these are the top 10 revenue generating products for today and how much money they have earned. So how do you quantify this data? That's what I want to talk to you about next. Okay. We got two different things going on. Okay. We got the top 10 revenue generating products of the day here. But we got the top 10 revenue generating products of the day here, but we also have how much money they've made in total. So we can see just because they might have generated, they're on this top 10 list for revenue generating products for today, that doesn't mean they've made the most money. We see number 1 has made far less money than number 2. Just because it made more money today than number 2, that doesn't mean it's made more money total than number 2, right? We see number 2 has earned more money than anything else on this list. So don't let the top 10 revenue generating products of the day deceive you. Just because it's on top today doesn't mean it's always been on top. Some of these products are on their way down. They've been up here for a while and they're kind of on their way down. So there are two separate things going on here. One is revenue generating products of the day, and the other one is overall generated revenue. So let's keep that in mind, right? So, it's all like data points, right? It's not like the end all be all. Just because you're the number 1 revenue generating product of the day, that doesn't mean you're the best product ever. All right. It just means, and that's why we get all 10 of them. So we can get a kind of a good kind of feel for what vendors are making on this platform. All right. So anyways, what can we do to quantify some of this data? One thing we can do is we can come over to ChatGPT, right? This is a very simple thing that anybody can do. All right. You come over to ChatGPT. Here we are. Can you give me some insights on the following list of products and revenue earned, right? And I'm going to take my list of data and I'm going to just put it into ChatGPT and see what it tells me. Let's break this down and explore some insights based on revenue, product type, and possible trends. So here we got the revenue, right? And so we got ChatGPT breaking this down into product amount, revenue earned. It's got it in order of revenue earned, not just for today, but period. Okay. Top performer dominance, boom, boom, boom. AI products are strong. It's basically giving us some insights based on the money. All right. strategic suggestions, double down on what's working. And it's kind of giving you some things like that, some insights based on, revenue. I'm not saying that you should listen to ChatGPT, okay? I'm just saying ChatGPT can give you a little bit more, feedback on what you're looking at. So another way that you can do this is you can come over to Google Sheets, right? Nice little free software, kind of like Excel. And, we can enter in all these, but what we got to do is we got to separate these numbers, Okay, so when we do this, what we can do is we can take all these numbers and we can go like that, right? And right now we got a sum, right? And it's summing it up, but we don't want a sum. We want an average. And we see an average right here of $12,631. So you could say that on average, a product launch would earn this amount, right? The top product launches on the platform would earn on average $12,000. You could say that over their lifetime. Now, I think that's a little bit deceiving because if we go back to the ChatGPT stuff, what we notice is a lot of the revenue is generated by the top what, 3 products? All right. Can you break this revenue down by percentage? Percentage of overall revenue. I don't know if it's going to understand what I'm saying. We'll see. Yeah, there you go. I don't know if that's 100% accurate, but it looks close. It looks close. So if we see this, we see the number one product generated 40% of the revenue. Okay. We see the number 2 product generated 23, then 20, then 10. So we see a significant drop off after the first 4 products in revenue generated. So like if you were going to launch a product in the top 10, then if you were going to launch a product and it happened to make the top 10, but it wasn't in the top 4, then chances are your revenue is going to be a lot closer to the bottom 6, right? Let's do this. I wonder if we can't like just okay. Yeah. I wonder if that would yeah, that works just fine. Okay, so like what I'm saying is we can take this and we see like this bottom 6, and we can look at this bottom 6 and we can say, okay, well, here is a little bit closer. If we take away the top 4 revenue generating products, we have about $2,000. So that's like, I would say like the typical launch would probably earn about $2,000 if you're ranking on this leaderboard. If you're in the top revenue generating products of the day, but you're not in the very top, you're just like in the bottom 6 revenue generating products of the day, there's a good chance that your launch is probably going to earn, you're looking at more like $2,000 for the launch, right? That's kind of what you're looking at. All right. So that's a good way to kind of determine like what you would be looking at on a launch. So like if you're looking at that, then you start thinking like, okay, that's about what the launch is going to earn. So that's not like a ton of money. All right. So what is the point? The point is buyer leads, right? The point is buyer leads. So you can upsell them other things that are a little bit more expensive, right? The point is lead generation, quality lead generation. So like if you know this, then you kind of gear your launches around this idea. And then the other thing that you do is you watch your time. You watch how much time you spend getting ready for one of these launches, because on average, if you make the top 10, you're probably going to be looking at like, $1 to $2 grand, right? Is what you're kind of looking at for revenue generation. And then you got to look at it like this too. we were just looking at revenue generation. We weren't looking at how much they're paying out to the affiliates. A lot of these guys are paying out 100% to 50% to affiliates, right? A lot of them are paying 50 to 100% to affiliates. So a lot of them aren't even earning a lot of money, period, on the actual launch. So a lot of it's made on the back end. So yeah, so when you look at it that way, you really have to consider two big things if you want to launch on Warrior Plus. Number one, this has a lot to do with quality lead acquisition. That's the first thing. That's what it's about. It's not about making big money on the launch. It's about quality lead acquisition to make big money on the back end. That's the first thing. So the second thing is that you want to pay attention to how much time you spend on these launches. You don't want to waste a ton of time on these launches because, you know, it doesn't behoove you to not have a quick turnaround time on these launches, because if you don't have a quick turnaround time, then what happens is you are going in the red with your time, right? You're going in the red with your time. Think about it, man. If your time is worth $100 an hour, let's just say you're worth $100 an hour. All right. Well, it doesn't take you that long to get to like $1,000. That's like 10 hours of your time. So, you know, you spend time, you know, putting a product together. You spend time, you know, putting a product funnel together. You spend time putting a sales page together. You spend time putting sales funnel pages together. You spend time recruiting affiliates. There's a lot of things you spend time on getting ready for a product launch. So what I'm saying is, when we look at those numbers, it's important that you really find ways to be very efficient with your time, and yet at the same time, make sure you're providing a good customer experience. Make sure the customer is winning. Make sure your affiliates are winning, and make sure you're winning. Because what happens is, if you spend way too much time getting ready for a launch, it's not going to change how much money you make on the launch, right? If you spend way too much time getting ready for the launch, and you don't have a back end in place, it's not going to change the fact that you're probably not going to make your money back, especially if you start, you know, considering how much money your time is worth. It's not going to change that fact. You really have to move on a platform like Warrior Plus with the understanding that you are in it for lead acquisition, right? Warrior Plus is kind of like the garage sale of, you know, online business and internet marketing. The people who buy there, they generally like low ticket products, things under $20. You put the higher ticket stuff, the mid ticket stuff, the low mid stuff like in the sales funnel. So anyways, I hope this has been helpful. Good luck out there. I haven't put a video on this channel for a while. If you like this video, please share, please subscribe, and let me know in the comment section what you would like to see me talk about. I know quite a bit about this platform, Warrior Plus. It's a good platform. I've always kind of considered it a kingmaker. And what I mean by that is it's pretty easy to go from like nobody knows who you are to like kind of a big deal in about 12 months if you are consistent with what you're doing on the platform. You can move up pretty quick. So anyways, hope this has been helpful. Good luck out there, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.